Organised by the company I was to work for, the apartment was the oldest Nova dormitory in the area. The tatami room that became my first bedroom had previously been occupied by a filthy Englishman so depraved that it cost Nova 100,000 yen to clean his room. Upon moving in, I was advised of a whole list of things never to touch because of what he had done, many of them in the bathroom laundry area. The saving grace of the place was the shower room, which is literally a whole room. Mum, that mould was there when I moved in. The living room was spacious by local standards. Of this I was assured by Chris, my senior flatmate, who had lived here for 4 years. A raconteur of the very first order, Chris had been in Japan so long that he'd become a caricature of himself, a comic book character of a 30-year-old guy with a penchant for lightsabers. My other flatmate was a newly arrived young man of God, Craig, sporting some cheap marketing crap sold by the company we worked for, Nova. At best, Nova was a company that provided a great opportunity for curious Westerners to live and work in a different culture. At worst, it was a corporation run by a bunch of selfish pricks. The classrooms were small, 4 students maximum, and the lesson format was pretty basic. Japanese people generally find speaking English challenging, although they can read and write it quite well. Eventually, the confines of the class would feel like a prison, but early on there was the hope that my students would be the Dead Poets Society of the Orient. The first inkling that there might be something wrong with this society comes from observing the lot of the Japanese Nova staff member, for example Eiji, a staff member at my branch. He worked all Saturday and Sunday running the school by himself. Sometimes he'd be forced to attend staff meetings that ran all Saturday afternoon and night, leaving him with enough time to sleep for maybe half an hour all weekend. This work culture was not a surprise, but some other things certainly were. Eventually, however, you learn to take the bizarre stuff you see in your stride, like seeing the word fuck adorning a shop front in the main street of your town. The importance of the bicycle in Japan cannot be understated. It's a logical mode of transport, given the fact that amenities can be relatively close to one's house, and car traffic is often terrible. I saw everything from beautiful girls to guys reading novels on bikes, and once heard from an Osaka resident about young boys who rode their bikes with their elbows while they used their hands to play Game Boy. It was in those early heady days that I was taken to a tiny backstreet bar and met this fella, Tsukio. Little did I know then that we would become good friends and that we would end up teaching each other the choicest phrases from our respective languages.
Let me go in that
See, and what else? Now we have sensei and pupil. Yeah. Roll the road.
Show me your box.
What are you teaching him, John?
I taught him the second.